Madridistas, we're back with a midweek La Liga clash as Real Madrid heads up north to face off against Athletic Bilbao in one of the most hostile environments in all of Spain. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my starting 11 that I want to see Real Madrid roll out there. A couple of key players to look out for Bilbao, and of course, my official match prediction. But before we get started, if you're new around here, I'm Dally with Dallyfc, and I cover all things Real Madrid. At the end of the video, if you like the content and you want to see more from myself, please hit that subscribe button. Right now, smash that like button. It helps me out a ton. And also, let me know in the comments, what's your official match prediction for Real Madrid versus Athletic Bilbao? So Madridistas, coming off that win against Getafe 2-0, I'm feeling a lot more confident about this team moving forward and a lot more confident going into this game than I thought I would be, after that Liverpool game, because really that left a really bad taste in my mouth. I did not like that game at all. But again, seeing what we saw over the weekend against Getafe, Kylian Mbappe I thought did very well. I believe that midfield is coming really good too. Rodrigo's getting back as well, and the back four continue to get better and better. And Raul Asensio, he's becoming a star right in front of our eyes, which I just love to see. So when it comes to this game against Athletic Club, Athletic Bilbao, whatever you guys want to call it, the next loser that gets to play Real Madrid. That's what you can really be calling them. However, though, I digress a little bit there. But let's take a look at how they've been doing so far this season. And guys, here's the thing. They're actually in really good form right now. They've actually won 4 of the last 5 games they've played, with only 1 draw coming in there as well. And that, of course, was against Real Valladolid, which was 1-1. Now, currently, they sit 4th in La Liga right now. And as you can see, they have 26 points, a little behind Atletico Madrid with 32, Real Madrid with 33, and then Barcelona up top at 37. However, any Barcelona people watching this, how are we feeling? Nervy? A little nervous? Real Madrid has 2 games in hand, and we're only 4 points behind Barcelona right now. So we'll see what happens at the end of the day. We'll see what happens. But let's go back, and we're focusing, of course, on Bilbao in this one. And there's a couple players I did really want to highlight in this one, too, that we really need to be looking at. And the way that I've kind of built my lineup, too, I think you guys will kind of see why. First one, the player I wanted to highlight is, of course, Nico Williams. And let's go full screen over to Nico Williams. Nico Williams, you might be wondering, you're like, man, that name sounds really familiar. If you're not really familiar with Bilbao, you might be more familiar with him, as he was the left wing player for Spain, winning the Euros this year. And honestly, he was awesome for Spain. Him and Lamine Yamal were just fantastic wingers for Spain. However, when it comes to him actually in La Liga this season, he's not been very impressive in my opinion at all. So I'll put my camera back up, but as you guys can see some of the stats he's had so far this season for La Liga, only 1 goal and 3 assists in 13 matches. And he started 11 of them. So it's not like he hasn't played a ton. He's been fine, but he's not been the player that I think a lot of people really thought coming into the season that he would be. The other player that you might be familiar with as well is Unai Simón. Now, Unai Simón was the goalkeeper for Spain as well. And here's the thing with him. He's a pretty good goalkeeper overall. I will say that. However, he did have a wrist surgery. I believe it was wrist surgery over the summer after the Euros as well. And as you guys can see, some of his recent matches, he really hasn't. He's only played 1 game, guys. He's only played 1 game so far. And, if I was them, I would have a little concern. Is he going to be starting this game? Because he's been back and available for 3 games so far, but he's only got the start against Elfsborg. And he did fine in that one too. I just think coming into this game against Real Madrid, do you really want to just throw him out there to the wolves? I don't know. I think that's asking a lot for Bilbao to really do, and something that I don't think personally I would do if I was them. But as a Real Madrid fan, I hope they do it. He's a good goalkeeper. He's a very good goalkeeper. Don't want to take anything away from him. And so if he is in great form, it'd be somebody I would be worried about. Especially the way Kylian Mbappe has been shooting the ball. It seems to be right at the goalkeeper every single time too. So that'd be something I'd be worried about no matter who's in goal, I guess. But who's more likely to be in goal? I'm going to butcher this name. So we're not even going to... I'll attempt it, guys. I'll attempt it for you. Agar Zabala? He's probably going to be in goal. He's probably going to be in goal. But, of course, Nico Williams will be on the left wing, and he's really the player, even though the stats might say Nico Williams might be the person you really need to be focusing on the right wing, I still think Nico Williams does have that special something that really does have me concerned. So when it came to actually building the starting 11 that I wanted to see for Real Madrid out here, I did need to take that into consideration, because when I've been making these videos, when I've been making my starting 11 too, I've been very concerned when we have to go against elite left wingers too. And right now there's a couple of different people, Rafinha over for Barcelona. He's been cooking lately. I think he got 2 goals today for Barcelona. And then when he played Real Madrid, what was happening? He was exposing Lucas Vazquez. When we played AC Milan, what was happening? Rafael Leao was exposing Lucas Vazquez. And so when it came to my starting 11, I've seen a trend so far this season. When you are facing an elite winger, Lucas Vazquez cannot be in the starting 11 for Real Madrid if we are a serious club. He cannot be in the starting 11. So when it comes to my starting 11, have that in mind, because this is the starting 11 that I am going with for Real Madrid. And as I mentioned before, Lucas Vazquez can't be in the starting 11 if we're a serious club going against an elite winger. So that is why I am moving Fede Valverde back to right back. And really, guys, I think this is the proper thing that we need to be doing when we're playing elite competition. We'll focus on that in just a second. Fede Valverde is just a better right back than Lucas Vazquez. Is he a Carvajal yet? No. But I've talked about it before. I do think that Lucas Vazquez is a liability when it comes to him being at right back and going against elite winger. He does not have the speed anymore. He's good on offense. He's good on attack. But defensively, he leaves so much to be desired. So that is why Fede Valverde is out there. I believe Fede Valverde can actually become an elite right back if he really wanted to. I right now just think this is kind of a Band-Aid option that we kind of have to do for Real Madrid moving forward whenever we're playing against an elite winger. And I do believe Nico Williams is pretty elite sometimes. He has his moments. So going back to the starting 11 that I'm rolling out there, this is a very similar lineup that we saw against Getafe over this weekend. And it was the lineup I really liked. Honestly, I thought we saw a lot of really good things out of that. And of course, that's Kylian Mbappe playing us at left winger, Rodrigo at striker, Brahim playing more of that right attacking mid, more of a right winger sort of thing, where he has the flexibility to kind of come inside as well, stay on the right, come back and press, and kind of, you could also mold him more into the midfield, and we could kind of see a little more defensive shape, something like this. I could see that as well. Now, when it comes to the midfield, of course, Jude Bellingham is starting. The one thing I will say about Jude Bellingham, coming into this game, he did get subbed off at the halfway point in the game against Getafe, and I was a little worried, is it going to be a concussion that we might be seeing? And if that was the case, at least here in the States, when it comes to concussions, especially when we're talking like NFL football, it's usually like a 2-week recovery. Luckily, it doesn't look like Bellingham actually sustained a concussion, so he should be in the starting 11, and if he's fit and available, he's always in the starting 11 for me. Also in the starting 11, Dani Ceballos. Dani Ceballos, guys, for me, has been fantastic so far when he's actually got his moments so far this season. I think he's been very, very solid, especially playing that more like a DM role. And here's the thing. Dani Ceballos has been very similar to me in almost like he's Kroos light. He's Toni Kroos light. And you might be saying, Dally, what are you saying? What are you saying with it? Look at the passing that Dani Ceballos is doing, the control that he brings to this team as well. I think it's very Toni Kroos-esque, right? Toni Kroos is another level of football player, though. He is an elite player, too. And the thing is with Toni Kroos, he was elite at corner kicks. He was elite at set pieces as well. I don't think Dani Ceballos is that, but he does bring a little more control to this midfield, and his passing is very good as well. And I do think he has really good vision that we might not be having with like a Tchouameni out there, which... Speaking of Tchouameni actually is back with the squad and is fit and available for the squad as well. So I could possibly see that maybe Carlo Ancelotti says, let's put Tchouameni out there. Personally, to me, I think Tchouameni is a center back moving forward. I've said it many times. I will say it again for everybody here. I think he is a center back moving forward. Now, with the injury to Camavinga, I do think that maybe we do have the flexibility to kind of move him to CDM sometimes, and where he can play a little more back, and maybe we can play a little more with like wing backs. Fran Garcia, Lucas Vazquez, if they were both playing, can play a little more farther up, and we can kind of play more with like 3 center backs as well. So that's an option as well, but that's not what I'm going to be having in this game. When it comes to the other center mid, I'm going with Arda Güler. You have the option, I guess you could say, for maybe a 4-4-2, and you could bring Tchouameni in here, and then it's just a top 2 of Mbappe and Rodrigo, and then maybe you could put Brahim instead, and he's playing more of a midfielder. I would rather have Arda Güler out here because I've really liked what I've seen from Arda Güler so far. Against Liverpool, was it great? No. But I think it's more about confidence for Arda Güler moving forward, and especially having all these injuries too. I think this is the chance for Arda Güler to go out there and really, earn more reps in this Real Madrid squad because truthfully, guys, we really need him. We really need him out there. He's a creator. I think his vision's really good. His set pieces are very good too. And if you don't have a Luka Modric out here, which I've said it before too, guys, and I'll say it again, he is a 30 minutes max player and he is a sub. He is not a starter moving forward for me. So that is the midfield that I want to see. Now, when it comes to the back four, I'm pretty solid. I'm pretty sold right now on Fran Garcia being the left back. I mentioned it before. I think he's just better. He's just better right now than Ferland Mendy. And the thing is, too, I never thought I'd be saying that coming to the season because I really rated Mendy. But everything we've seen from Fran Garcia, helping out on offense, driving down the left wing, linking up with Mbappe very well so far. I think Mbappe is actually developing a really good bond with him so far when playing out there, too. He kind of trusts him. He knows he's going to overlap. He knows he's going to cut into, as well as he knows he's going to cross the ball into the box, too. So I really liked what I've seen for Fran Garcia. Of course, when it comes to center backs, Rudiger and Asensio, and I mentioned it before, I will mention again, I'm very impressed with Asensio. And here's the thing with Raul Asensio, guys. There's been rumors already out there, which I believe they're probably going to be true. And if anything changes, I will let you know. But I guess Real Madrid has really liked what they've seen. So that's Carlo Ancelotti, and of course, that is Florentino Perez, have really liked what they've seen from Raul Asensio. And his contract, I believe, expires 2026. So look for Raul Asensio to sign a new long-term contract extension very soon with Real Madrid, because even though I believe he's only started like 3 games for Real Madrid and he's played in 4, we've really liked what we've seen so far from him. And I would not be surprised if he gets a new contract very soon with Real Madrid. If anything changes with that, I, of course, will let you all know. And then, guys, again, when it comes to right back, I mentioned it before, Fede Valverde, if we're going against an elite winger like Nico Williams is, I prefer Fede Valverde over Lucas Vazquez 100%. I think defensively, he is so much better than Lucas Vazquez. So that is my starting 11. And of course, Courtois in goal. If Courtois is healthy, he's always in goal for me. Lunen's a very good option, but I don't think you would be starting Lunen in this one as well. So a couple players I do want to highlight in this game. First one is Kylian Mbappe. Again, you might be like, wow, shocker, right? No, Kylian Mbappe needs to continue kind of to build a little more and more confidence. And I really liked what I saw from Kylian in the last one as well, because here's the thing with Kylian is he's more of a threat when he's making these long runs through the middle or on the wings to where we can supply him with a long ball, with a through ball as well. Too many times we are setting him up where he's getting the ball and he basically has to beat a defender or 2 defenders or even 3 defenders sometimes with a dribble. That's not the way that Kylian Mbappe is at his best, right? He's at his best when he can go one-on-one with a defender and beat him with his pace. Now, the big thing for him is staying on sides with that, which I do think more and more, the more confidence that he's building and the more that he's been playing. Here's the thing. A lot of people have mentioned before, oh, you need to bench Kylian Mbappe. For me, if he's going to get better, you have to play more. You have to play a lot more with these players and kind of understand the patterns. And first of all, the way that Jude Bellingham passes it is different than the way Ceballos passes it, or an Arda Güler or a Rodrigo, right? It's a different pace to the ball. It's a different movement with the ball. It's a different way you look at that player and you know, I can make it run. The more they play together, that's why you see Rodrigo and Vini, they link up so well because they've been playing with each other for the Brazilian national team. They've been playing with each other for Real Madrid for years now. More and more time that Kylian Mbappe is out there and building this confidence too, I think he's going to get better and better, especially here's the thing too. When we've actually seen Mbappe has been good so far, it's been with Vini because Vini and him actually do have very good link-up play together. And so getting that first start against Liverpool without really having anybody else helping out in the attack, I think that was a little hard for Kylian Mbappe in that one too. And was it a great game? No. But I think he was making the runs, and that's what he continues to need to be doing in this one as well. Make those runs, get behind the defense, stay onside, and I think he's going to be finishing a lot more of these chances than he's not going to be in the future. Again, the last goal that he got was a fantastic goal outside the box, a curler. The goalkeeper had no chance to it, but he did miss 2 goals that easily could have been, and honestly, they were easier than the one he actually made. So I do believe that Kylian will be good in this one too, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him on the left wing, and I really do think when Vini is back, I think Kylian Mbappe is a left wing for Real Madrid moving forward. So that's just my opinion when it comes to that. Now, other player I wanted to highlight in this one as well is Dani Ceballos. You know, I mentioned it before. I've really liked what I've seen from Dani Ceballos so far this season. You know, him bringing that control to this midfield, I think is huge because it allows Jude to be able to go and play more of an attacking role. Jude can kind of drive up a lot more. He can come back defensively too, but he doesn't have to be the controller because I believe, like, if we're talking controllers, the difference between Ceballos and Tchouameni is like night and day. I think that Tchouameni's a center back. I really do. So I would like to see Dani Ceballos out there. I do think he's bringing a lot with his through balls, with the control that he's bringing out there too. And for him to continue to get more and more minutes, because I do think that we need him moving forward, especially when we're playing better teams and we can't retain possession or anything like that. I think that Ceballos will be very huge for us moving forward as well. Now, a couple other players that I would really like to see in this game, and this is not in my starting 11, but I do think that Luka Modric needs to be a sub moving forward. 30 minutes is what I would really like to see him come in, because I think that you can get really good 30 minutes from Luka Modric, and I don't mind if that's for an Arda Güler, if that's for a Dani Ceballos, something like that, where, the defense that you're playing against, the team you're playing against is already tired. I really think Modric can come in and be huge for us as well. The player I really want to mention as well is Endrick. What's the deal? Why have we not seen Endrick lately? And I kind of question Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo, if you're watching this, what's the deal, mate? What's the deal? What's happening with that? Because Endrick is a future player for Real Madrid. It might not be today, might not be tomorrow, might not be this season, but he's somebody that we need to be developing. And the thing I keep saying is, for them to get better, they need to be playing. And so I want to see, of course, Endrick playing for Real Madrid. And I really think that with the Vinny out right now, you need to be taking advantage of that time that we're given with Vinny being out. Let's take a negative and turn it to a positive. Let's give Endrick a little more minutes. I would love to see Endrick get 15 minutes. Again, let's take him off for, let's take Brahim off. Let's just do it. Let's do it together, everybody. Let's do it together. And we can kind of see what this would look like, right? You take Endrick, you take Brahim off, you put Endrick there, and then Endrick can play he can play as a right winger. He did that for Palmeiras before, or we can see him as at his preferred position, and what the position that I think he will be playing more and more in the future as the 9, especially if Kylian Mbappe is going to be playing as left wing and Vinny's going to be playing as left wing too. I do think that maybe even next year, or maybe in 2 years from now too, we could be seeing Endrick in the starting 11 a lot more, and more of a rotation piece too. This is kind of the spot I really want to see Endrick, because I really think that he can kind of thrive in an environment like this, linking up with Kylian Mbappe, linking up with his fellow Brazilian on the right wing in Rodrigo as well, and then getting those passes from a Dani Ceballos and Arda Güler or Bellingham, something like that too. That's really what I want to be seeing from Endrick. I just think he needs more minutes, because I do think Endrick will become good for Real Madrid. Now, everybody, when it comes to my official match prediction for this one, I do think that Athletic Club Bilbao, whatever you guys want to call it, I do think they're very good. They're 4th in the Liga right now. And of course, when it comes to our previous games against them too, it's always been close. It's always 1-1, 2-0. And it's always been a competitive game, especially when we're going up north to their stadium, which is a very, very hostile environment. I do think it's going to be a difficult game for Real Madrid, especially with no Vinny in this game once again. Now, when it comes to my official match prediction for this one, I do think we get the win. I do think it's a little harder, though, than we might think looking on paper and really seeing the talent level that Real Madrid has. So that is why I'll be going with Real Madrid defeating Bilbao 2-1. I do think Kylian Mbappe gets back on the board as well. I think Rodrigo gets on the board as well in this one too. But I'm hoping we can ultimately shut down Nico Williams. And again, guys, if Fede Valverde is getting the start at right back position, I feel a lot more confident going into this game. So everybody, let me know in the comments what you think coming into this match. What's your official match prediction? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Guys, if you made it to the end of the video, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Also, really quick, shout out to all the members. I appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you very much. And guys, I will see you in the post game, in the match reaction as well. So guys, this has been Dally with Dallyfc. Cheers. Real Madrid.